Hello, everyone out there in podcast land, and welcome back to the Front Row Movie Reviews Podcast, the podcast for people who actually like movies, and a brand new show. We're just popping them out all over the place. We're launching things all over the place, but we have been delving into the TV world recently, and well, there's one TV show that is the toast of all of TV, and it is Game of Thrones, and of course, we are avid Game of Thrones watchers here on the Front Row, so we have decided to start our episode recap show this year with Season 7, and what are we calling it? Well, we're calling it appropriately enough. It's a good motto for the Front Row and also a good title, and it's The Row Knows Nothing. So I'm Jeremy Geckner, and welcome to The Row Knows Nothing, our weekly Game of Thrones recap show here for Season 7. And with me on the very first episode, another Thrones head, Mr. Scott McFarlane. What's up, Scott?
A throne head, huh?
Throne head.
Okay. Is that kind of like a cone head?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's where you wear the Iron Throne on your head.
I don't have a crown. I have a Liberty Bell, though, here.
There you go. Boom.
Okay. Yeah, so no, nothing like coming to the game late in Season 7, but here we are.
Correct.
Ready to go.
Well, we have a lot to discuss with this first episode. And again, we're not going to get too far into analysis and such. We're pretty much just going to give you our reactions and where we think a few things are going here. So let's dive right in, Scott. We start out this episode with a bang with the thought to be dead Walder Frey at the table. And he has gathered his entire family together. And we learn that it's really Arya in disguise wearing Walder's face, as she is a faceless assassin, and she has poisoned the entire Frey family. I just love this scene. It's just so jarring to start off this way. What did you think of this opening sequence here at the Frey, at the twins?
Were you really surprised that it was Shapeshifter?
Arya? Was not. I mean, okay. Sarah and I called it pretty quick.
Right. Her storyline is... it continues to annoy the hell out of me just because it's going nowhere. But at least she's killing people now.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And I'm not sure why she was nice to the daughter, but not to the other chick in there. So it wasn't like a gender thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's really cool. Like what I'm loving seeing it right now is Arya's really kind of become like almost numb to the violence of Westeros. And I mean, if anybody has the right to be numb to the violence of Westeros, it's Arya, with all the stuff that she has seen and all the things she's been through. But, you know, it's like when she sees the people dying, like especially like when she killed Walder at the in the last episode of Season 6, it was just there's no emotion on her face. It's just I cut this guy's throat and I'm going, and just continues to be that progression of her into this assassin. And I've read a theory today that, you know, so many people think that it's going to come down to a Cersei Tyrion showdown in terms of that matchup, but I'm honestly thinking it's going to be Arya taking on Cersei or trying to take her down.
Yeah, and I think she's going to lose that fight. I still think Arya is going to die, and it's going to be bad. Because the one thing I've learned with this show is there's not much in the way of morality anywhere. But the one thing is when you start screwing with, you know, whatever spirits are out there, you don't end up well. And she's screwed with like 15 different gods now.
Yeah, for real. I mean, like, I'm not convinced that we have. I think that we're going to see Jaqen again. And I wouldn't be surprised after Arya left the Temple of the Faceless. He had kind of a little smile on his face. So I think that maybe Jaqen's been kind of like, I don't know, like engineering this for a while with Arya. But so then we, you know, this pretty much concentrates on a few people here. But then we get the nice scene up in Winterfell, Jon reigning over the King of the North Court, and he makes the controversial decision not to eliminate the Karstarks and the I can't remember, the Undos, I think, not to eliminate their houses and to let the children who have inherited them once again pledge allegiance, much to the objections of Sansa. So what did you think of this little kind of sibling power struggle here out in the public of Winterfell?
You know, I swear it's not just a female thing, but the two characters that annoy me the most are Sansa and Arya, because they both get played so well by everybody. Arya is just kind of playing herself at this point, but it's obvious that Littlefinger wants Sansa to screw around and,
Oh yeah.
and make John just, completely lose here. And she doesn't want to do that, but she's, listening to the little things in her head enough to where it's starting to screw things up. I did like a scene later on where she finally tells Littlefinger to go off and, do his own thing. So she is trying to control him, but it's only a matter of time. We saw it in season 6's last episode that Jon Snow isn't even a Stark at all, so it's just a matter of time before that little news drops and Sansa starts screwing things up as per usual.
Yeah, the Winterfell sequences were good. I mean, it's kind of frustrating because you can already see the seeds that Baelish is going to be planting in Sansa's mind to try and get her to go against Jon, to try and betray her brother in some way. But the thing about it is, like, what's frustrating about it is the two of them make a very good team. Jon has the respect of the people, and he's actually a pretty even-headed ruler. And Sansa has learned the ugly side of Westeros. She's learned the ugly side of the world and can lend some good counsel to Jon there. But both of them have really seen that. But you're right, the scene where they get the Raven from Cersei later in the episode, and he's trying to, say, I don't care about Cersei. I want to concentrate on the Night King. And, she's trying to say, you don't know this woman. Like, everybody who's gone against her, she has killed and she has murdered them. And she is going to do the same to us if we don't pay attention to her. And you're right, even in that one sequence where, he asks her, like, oh, what, you want me to, pay attention to you or, listen to you? And she said, would that be so hard, like, terrible of a thing? I really hope that they find a way to work together for the remainder of this season, because they actually make a very good team.
Well, let's be clear. Yeah, there's season 8 and season 7, season 8, but there is 14 episodes left.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're coming down to the wire here. So there's working together. There's only this is episode 61, and there are only 14 left.
Ugh, don't remind us all of that.
Now it's going to take us 15 years for HBO to give us all of them because they want money, but we have 14 episodes left.
Yeah, exactly. Also in the Winterfell sequences, I loved Tormund just throwing his smiley eyebrow over at Brienne. I know it's never going to happen, but man, I want it.
She's going to make sure that there's more than one character who loses a dick in this episode, in this show. Okay? We've already got one guy who's been hacked clean. There's going to be 2.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm rooting.
And then she'll have another crappy take of a character in Star Wars again, because that's what happened last time.
Well, hopefully they write her better in Star Wars, but I'm rooting for Bremund. I'm calling him Bremund right now. So let's move on to King's Landing. Cersei is now the queen of the 7 kingdoms, and she's painting a giant map in the courtyard of King's Landing to try and, I guess, do some strategizing there. And I love the conversation between Jaime and Cersei because Jaime is, I think, going to be one of the most interesting characters to watch this season, because I am not convinced that he trusts his sister at all anymore.
He doesn't. Yeah. And that's, you said that you think it's going to come down between Arya and Cersei, and I said Arya's going to lose that fight. Jaime's going to have to stab another king in the back. That's what it's going to come down to. I think at the end of the day, the major fight is going to be the everybody versus the army of the dead. So Cersei's not going to be the final battle. And I think in order to ensure that Cersei doesn't screw things up for everybody, she's going to get a knife in the back. And her brother's probably going to die in the process, because those two are going to die in a heap together. But he's going to be the one doing the stabby.
Yeah.
It's not the first time he stabby Cersei.
Exactly. I completely agree with you. I think, oh God, I just got that. Yay, incest. No, it's I completely agree with you, and I think that Jaime's evolution this year is going to be really fun to watch, because we've seen in the trailers he's going to be a part of some kind of huge battle with the dragons and with Daenerys's army. There's going to be some big showdown there, but I think you're right. It's ultimately probably going to be Jaime that has to do something to try and stop Cersei from going mad like Aerys. But the other things we get from King's Landing, though, is that, as suspected, Euron Greyjoy has come. He is going to try and throw his hat in with the Lannisters. Now, one aside from just a really really fun scene where he's making great quips. I love where he says, you should kill your brother, it feels great, or something like that. It was really good. And then Jamie just looks at her and he has this worried look on his face. But he pledges to Cersei he will not come back to King's Landing until he brings her a present, a gift, I believe he calls it. So do you have any inclinations as to what this might be, what he's going after here?
Tyrion. He's gonna bring him Tyrion, and I think that will happen because sooner or later the three Lannister brood have to be in the same room together before the show ends. And so the easiest way to do that is to have Tyrion either get captured or more, because Tyrion is smarter than that, allow himself to get captured. But I think that's the next time we'll see them in the same room, is because he'll be in a box again.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that it's got to be Tyrion, just because, if nothing else, he kept talking about how he has traitorous siblings or family members, and how they have traitorous sibling. And what I also love about this show is how frustrating it can get you on information from the past that is false, because Cersei's sitting there talking about how Tyrion is now a hand to Daenerys, and she's just like, oh, he also killed our eldest son. And I'm just like, no, he freaking didn't. I just, it really killed me there. But, yeah, so I'm thinking you're right. He's going after Tyrion. And from all reports that we've been hearing from the set visits and stuff from various news outlets, is that Euron's going to be kind of the new Ramsay of the show, like a really, really dastardly person that takes over in that mold of character. So it certainly appears like he's being set up for that. And he's got 1,000 ships to back him up. And so I think the only other big part of the show, except for the end, which we'll get to, is we get to go with the Brotherhood Without Banners as they are trekking up north with the Hound. And these scenes I thought were really, really cool because aside from anything else, the Hound has always been one of my favorite characters on this show. He has a flawed morality and such, but his stuff with Arya in season 3 was just absolutely wonderful. And coming back to the cottage of the people he screwed over, and to see that they actually did die poor and starving, probably as a result of his attack. I mean, I thought those were really cool scenes.
Yeah, I've always liked the Hound as a character. I'm glad that he came back or just didn't die. But again, I go back to the fact that we are so close to the end here. Stuff needs to start happening. And I don't want everything to blow up right away, because we've got some episodes here. But the one thing I do not want is, I do not want more filler episodes. And we have had some doozies of filler episodes throughout this show. Anytime Arya is off doing anything somewhere else is a filler for me. So whatever the Hound's going to get to, sooner or later he's going to have to run into Brienne of Tarth, because that conflict's going to have to continue. But whatever is going on, just freaking get him there already, okay? Okay, yeah. He's seen the light. Now move on. Get him there.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people want him to have the Clegane bowl with the mountain, or Franken Mountain as he's called now. But he and the Brotherhood Without Banners are heading north, and the mountain's staying in the south. So I don't think we're ever going to get that. So you're right. I think people should leave that thought behind. But it is cool to see him see into the fire and actually have people have that experience with the Lord of Light, who we still don't know what the hell that guy is. But it's still an interesting scenario where he's kind of starting to believe. And I loved the eulogy he gave after burying the two people. He's trying to do this eloquent thing, and then he's just like, fuck, I don't remember the rest. I'm sorry, you're dead. And just walks away. It's so the Hound. I mean, it's just perfectly him.
Yeah, and I hope they don't neuter him either. I mean, he's obviously starting to see the religious angle of what these guys are doing. At first, I thought he was just bullshitting them, but the look on his face says it's not bullshit. Yeah. So I just hope they don't make him into, a puppy. I want him to be who he is. I want him to be the wisecracking guy who's going to cut your head off. That's what I
Yeah,
want.
exactly. So I'm hoping they do that too. One other section I forgot about, mainly because I hate this character, but we did get to see a little bit of Sam at the Citadel, doing some research, trying to get some information on the White Walkers and where some dragon glass is, which he does discover. And of course, we get to meet one of the major players from this season, Jim Broadbent, who is one of the maesters, or I think they call him an archmaester. Um, like obviously he's even further up above than that, doing some kind of autopsy, but he's going to be in 5 of the 7 episodes this season, so he's going to play a big part. Really liked the scene he had with him. Just kind of really signified that kind of ultra intellectual, almost Vulcanness of the Citadel, like maesters and such. They're just hyper logical and they don't really, they doubt everything, like he says. What did you think of those scenes in the Citadel?
Sam is the guy in the chair. He is our Ned, not Ned Stark. Ned from Spider.
Ned from Spider-Man.
Yeah, so he's our guy in our chair, and so he's going to be the guy who comes up with whatever is going to have happen to get to this end game. Because as much as Game of Thrones has told me I shouldn't believe there's going to be a happy ending, I think there's going to be a happy ending, and I think that that we're going to find out how to get there through this. And I'll tell you what, Game of Thrones has thrown some amazingly bad scenes at me in terms of everything from dismemberment to flaccid penises, but because they're always flaccid, just throwing it out there. Yeah. But the thing that will haunt me for the rest of my days from this show is the 3-minute montage of cleaning up bedpans. That thing would not end. It just kept going and going and going.
And Sarah and I had the same reaction. I was like, how is he learning to be a maester by doing this? Is this like the Rush Week thing or something?
Obviously you have never been an intern.
Nope.
As a former intern, you go through the bedpan situation before you get anywhere else.
It's just like he's learning valuable information about how to be a maester right now. Well, but you're right. He does find in one of the books he steals, which I'm glad to see he's growing some balls and, a big swath of Dragonstone. And that gets us all the way to the very end of the episode and Daenerys reclaiming her birth home of Dragonstone. I really like pulling Stannis's banner down. F that guy, he's gone. And, really kind of liked the way that they ended the episode with just kind of, very subtle and everything, walking into the map room and, shall we begin? What do you think of the way this ended and Daenerys coming home?
Well, you've got the major players all doing the same thing at the same time. They're all strategizing. Mm-hmm. You've got the Starks and Winterfell strategizing how they're going to handle this thing. You've got Cersei playing Monopoly on her board somewhere. And then you got Daenerys doing her thing. So obviously this is a penultimate episode that's moving all the chess pieces around, getting everything ready for whatever checkmate's going to be. And it's exciting because as I just complained about, there's so much filler sometimes in this show that I'm happy to see that we have an end game. A lot of TV shows, the mistake they make is we have a 3-year plan. But we are so popular, we're going to have 10 years of shows.
Right.
I point at Lost. I mean, they had Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. Battlestar Galactica had a 3-year plan with 5 seasons. Oops. So I'm glad that the Game of Thrones folks said we have an end game. We are moving towards this end game, and you can feel that movement for most of these characters moving that. That being said, I am so looking forward to the day that Daenerys finally falls flat on her ass. It's going to happen and my theory is at the end of the day that it will be Jon, Tyrion, and Daenerys leading the army of light or whatever to end this thing. So she's going to come back around, but sooner or later this girl has got to have a moment where she just completely screws the pooch. And she's had little bits there, here and there, but she continues to be I cannot be fallible. I am just moving towards my destiny. Sooner or later, she has to screw up. And I think it's going to be that battle we've seen in the trailers. I think she's going to get her ass handed to her when she tries to fight everybody. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to that.
We definitely see Jamie charging through a fiery battlefield on his horse in that. So maybe that's coming out the remnants of that battle there. But yeah, you're right when you say this is a board setting episode. This is, we've had a lot of pieces moving in and out of this series, but now, here are the last few people. This is the big showdown we've been waiting for. And now they're all in place. They're all on Westeros. And let's see where we go from there.
And to keep my chess analogy going for just a second, I love the fact that through all of this, everyone's getting their pieces ready to go. Maybe it's a game of Risk. We'll do that. The game of Risk. Everyone's getting their pieces together, and then the dead king, zombie king, whatever the heck king he is just going to come pick up the table and throw it across the board. I'm looking forward to that because everyone's got to like, ooh, we're going to do this, this, and this. And he's like, screw it, you're all dead. You're done.
Oh yeah. Not to be missed.
I have zombie giants. You're done.
My God, that freaked me the hell out too. Well, like, because Sarah was thinking like, oh my God, is that one the giant that fought with Jon at the Battle of the Bastards? And I'm like, no, that can't be him. He got shot through the other eye, and they didn't just throw him over the wall when it was over. Like,
unfortunately, the actor passed away in real life last year, so it's not him. But
But no, you're right. Not to be missed. That scene it's right near the beginning of the episode. I think right after the credits, we see just the slow progression of snow and storm come towards you with the Night King and his people. And you're right. There's giants in this army now. This showdown with the undead army, the White Walkers, is going to be unreal, and I cannot wait to get to it.
And you're going to wait until 2018.
Yes, we are.
I think that's going to be season 8. As much as all of the promos have been the Night King, you're not going to get the Night King in season 7. I'm almost guaranteeing that. You may get a little skirmish here and there. He may take out the wall, but at the end of the day, that big battle is not until season 8 because that is going to be the final battle.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, all right, that's going to do it for us here with this first episode of The Row Knows Nothing, and I think we've proven that. So. Just not going to consider that.
Damn you, dirty ape.
But hey, you know what? We want to know what you think also of the season 7 premiere of Game of Thrones. So jump in the comment section, find us on Facebook, find us anywhere, and let us know if you agree with us. Do you think Euron's going after Tyrion? Do you think that the Euron Greyjoy is going to be a firm commitment there with Cersei? There's so many
reasons why he's called Euron.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so do that. And also just go to the frontrowmoviereviews.com so you can find all of the stuff that we're doing. The Zonasodes, Are You Afraid of the Podcast? We have a full disclosure on War for the Planet of the Apes dropping today as well. We are just off and running here. We're in the midst of the big summer movie push, but we are almost done. And just thank you. Just thank you for being here. Scott, anything else to say before we sign off?
Ditto.
That's right. All right. So
I'm a man of many words.
That is right. Well,
and it's also 12 in the morning. So
yeah, we've officially hit midnight. So everyone else go to bed. Yeah, that's it. We're just going to see you in the front row. Bye-bye.
Adios.